Hey everybody, it's David and Richard, and it's time for our Ask the Broker show. Today's topic is one we've gotten quite a bit recently here in our brokerage, and it's a question that comes from clients to agents, and the question is, I want to list my house with you, but we want to list it higher than you suggested. And we can see that a lot in this marketplace a lot because we're coming out of a market that was at its peak. People could be looking at older comps. They say, well, my neighbor's house sold last year for $650,000.
Right.
But in reality, it should be, $575,000, $600,000. So I can see how people are getting confused on the true value of their home. So what's one way or a couple ways we can answer that objection, we'll call it?
Well, the first one is what you probably already did with them. You showed them the comps. This is houses all around the neighborhood of that house. And I guess the first thing you would say, well, why do you want to list for higher than all the comps show would sell for? Why do you want to do that? And a lot of them, well, I painted the cabinets, I landscaped the yard or something, and we know that doesn't make a whole lot of difference in money. So there's one. Just go back to the comps that you just did and ask them maybe why they think it's worth more than the comps show. Another one?
Well, touching on the comps is, which comps are you using? Are you pulling the right comps? If you don't know exactly how to find the best comparable sales for a property, I'd suggest you sit down with your manager, your broker, go through that exercise, get a second opinion prior to meeting with the clients. Yes, the house might have sold a year ago at a certain price, but more recently are using the most recent comps. So be careful of what the data you're showing them to begin with.
Another one comes up all the time. Well, I want to list it for what the one around the corner sold for. Well, sir, that one, your houses were built in the 80s. That one was updated 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yours is still from the 80s. We can't make that comparison unless you want to spend that extra money to update yours too. Or do you want to just list at a lower price? I'll give you the choice. Which one do you want to do? But that's not apples to apples. That's apples to oranges. So remember that on the updates.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point. There's been many times where you show them pictures of the recent sales of those houses, and you have the remodeled home, move-in ready, updated kitchen and bathrooms, whereas the home they're in is a bit outdated, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So the great question to ask is to that client is, so how much do you think it would cost you to update your home to make it comparable to that one that just sold?
Yeah, and have the pictures ready to go to show them.
So their kitchen is updated, yours is not. How much do you think that would cost you? Oh, that would cost me $25,000, $30,000. Okay, how much would it cost to do the bathrooms? Another 10 to 15. Okay, how much would it cost to paint the exterior because your home needs a little painting? And so you obviously say it in a much nicer way, but you're tallying a list of expenses to therefore hopefully get them off that high price of the neighbor's home.
Yeah, do you want to spend $40,000 to get this price? Or you want to just be a little bit below that price to be the, one that they would go after first in the neighborhood? And, you probably are better off not doing that work and selling it as is.
Yeah.
Probably because of the work and how long it takes and everything else.
Yeah, most people don't want don't have the time, the energy, or the funds to do that. Some do. Some want to.
Yeah.
But majority don't.
Put up with the dust, everything else. So another one is, David, sometimes I tell them, okay, you want to list it a little bit higher. I want you to get the most money out of your house.
Absolutely.
But if we get a few weeks down the line and the showings and offers are not happening, then that means the market told us that we are a little bit too high, because all the other hundreds of realtors out there have done their comparisons too, and they're showing other properties and not ours. So we need to get back into the market.
Yeah. And this is where data helps you again, because you want to approach this appointment and have the average days on market. Let's say it's 42. Of the comps in the report, it's taking 42 days to go pending. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if on day 40, if our showings have slowed down, we do not have any offers, are you open-minded to adjusting the price at that point in time? Yeah. So you're planting the seed of asking for a price reduction. So you're getting them to say yes to a price reduction now. So when you have to bring it up later, if you have to,
right,
you've already kind of planted the seed of making an adjustment.
And during that period of time, if another one sells in the area, keep them up on that too, because they might say, "Oh, that one, it sold for $20,000 less than I want. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm wrong, and I need to come down like to the number you said."
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding, you know.
And I got one more for you. Those are all great conversation pieces. Those three that we talked about. The last one is explaining to the seller, to the client, that you have to prove this price to 3 people, and they're going to say what? But not only does the buyer have to approve or want to purchase your home at this price, you also have to convince the buyer's agent that this is a good price, because they're going to be running those comps, looking at the comps as well. And then the third person you got to convince that it's going to sell at this price is the appraiser.
Yeah.
So Mr. and Mr. Seller, not only do we have to convince the buyer, but we have to convince the buyer's agent, and we have to convince the appraiser to all agree upon your price. So is it possible?
If that appraiser doesn't agree, your buyer's loan could be canceled and you've just lost the sale.
That's right. While it could be possible, you might find that needle in the haystack person to purchase the house. But I think getting that price reduction up front is the conversation I'd be having with them.
Yeah, price it right to begin with to get the most you can get.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully those help you with the objection of, I want to list for hire. We talked about a lot of different angles, so maybe you go back and rewatch this video if you need to. But with that, we'll say goodbye, and thanks so much for watching the Ask the Broker show. All right, we'll see you next time.